In relationships, not everything is as it seems. Some women, intentionally or not, can push men to their limits in ways that feel subtle, even affectionate at first. Manipulation rarely arrives with a warning sign or a dramatic confrontation. Instead, it hides behind charm, vulnerability, or what seems like genuine care. The danger lies in how easily good men, driven by empathy and hope, can be pulled into patterns that slowly erode their confidence, peace, and sense of self. You may start noticing small shifts, the quiet pressure to meet unspoken expectations, the way compliments feel conditional, or the way your instinct to give and support turns into exhaustion and self-doubt. Attraction often clouds judgment, making it difficult to recognize when emotional energy is being drained instead of reciprocated. This guide is not about blaming women or promoting cynicism. It's about awareness. Understanding the patterns of emotional manipulation equips you to protect your mental and emotional well-being. When you recognize these behaviors early, you reclaim control over your own life, preventing a slow drift into frustration, resentment, or loss of self. By the end of this guide, you'll be able to see these patterns clearly, recognize the warning signs, and ensure that love in your life builds you up rather than breaking you down. The spendthrift is a woman whose affection is tied to what you can give, not who you are. At first, she may seem genuinely interested in your ambitions, your goals, and your plans for the future. She appears fascinated by your drive, and you feel seen, appreciated, even admired. But soon, you notice a subtle pattern. Her warmth grows when you spend and fades when you don't. Every connection becomes a transaction, a test of your generosity rather than your character. This type of woman uses spending as a form of validation. Dinners, trips, gifts, each moment together carries an unspoken price tag. At first, you may tell yourself it's normal, even enjoyable to give. But over time, giving becomes expectation. Expectation becomes pressure, and pressure turns into resentment. Your love transforms into a treadmill. You give, you pay, but the relationship never moves forward. The spendthrift doesn't desire partnership, she desires control. She measures devotion through compliance and reward cycles, leaving you emotionally and sometimes financially drained. Her love is never unconditional, and when your capacity to give diminishes, she will quietly move on, seeking another source to feed her needs. The key lesson here is simple but powerful. Love should not come with conditions or a price tag. True partnerships value contribution without control, and genuine affection is given freely, not earned through constant giving. Recognizing this pattern early allows you to protect your energy, your resources, and your sense of self. The liar is not always someone who fabricates dramatic stories. Often, she bends reality just enough to make you question yourself, leaving small but lasting cracks in your trust. At first, she seems open and honest, sharing personal details to appear transparent. You feel like you're gaining insight into her world. But over time, inconsistencies emerge, timelines shift, details don't align, and stories subtly change. When you notice, she may laugh it off, accuse you of overthinking, or make you feel guilty for pointing it out. This is not random behavior. It's a pattern designed to undermine confidence. Each half-truth, each carefully crafted story chips away at your ability to trust your own judgment. Slowly, you start doubting yourself more than her, checking her words against actions, questioning your memories, and apologizing just to restore peace. The liar thrives in this uncertainty. She doesn't need to invent grand lies, she only needs to blur the line between truth and fiction. The danger lies in how your emotional energy gets consumed. You're no longer in a partnership built on honesty. You're in a constant cycle of explanation, reassurance, and self-doubt. The lesson is clear. Truth doesn't require defense, and trust should never feel like a battlefield. If you find yourself constantly second-guessing your perception of reality, it's a warning sign. In a healthy relationship, honesty is mutual, and asking for clarity should never leave you questioning your own sanity. Recognizing the liar early allows you to preserve your confidence and avoid the slow erosion of your sense of self. Trust is the foundation. Once it's compromised, the relationship can no longer support genuine connection. The chronic flirt is a woman who thrives on attention, not connection. When she enters a room, all eyes naturally gravitate toward her. At first, it feels charming, even flattering. You might mistake it for confidence or charisma. But over time, you realize she's not truly connecting with others. She's collecting validation. Every laugh, every compliment, every lingering glance becomes a small hit of reassurance that she is desirable. When you're in her life, you're not a partner. You're a source of emotional supply. Her need for attention is constant, and it subtly pressures you to compete with the world for her focus. You start questioning your own reactions. Are you being jealous, or are you simply observant? She acts surprised when you confront her, framing her behavior as harmless friendliness. Meanwhile, your peace of mind slowly erodes, and you begin policing your own emotions to avoid conflict. This pattern isn't about malice, it's about emotional dependency. She fills her own void by keeping others engaged, and your role becomes maintaining her sense of importance. No matter how much affection you provide, it's never enough because her need isn't for connection, it's for admiration. The lesson is crucial. Love should bring comfort and reassurance, not constant anxiety. You cannot maintain a healthy relationship with someone who treats attention as oxygen. Recognizing the chronic flirt early allows you to set boundaries, protect your emotional energy, and avoid a dynamic where validation, rather than genuine love, dictates your actions. The materialistic woman sees relationships through the lens of value and security rather than emotional connection. At first, her focus on standards, comfort, and stability may seem reasonable, perhaps even attractive, but soon you notice a pattern. Her attention and affection are closely tied to what you can provide materially. She asks not how your day was, but what it earned. Conversations subtly revolve around possessions, money, or achievements. In her mind, love operates like a marketplace. Every gesture, every gift, every ounce of effort you provide is expected to earn her attention or warmth in return. Emotional reciprocity is conditional, and her moods often fluctuate depending on what you give. The danger isn't greed, it's emptiness. She seeks security through external measures, unable or unwilling to build genuine emotional depth. Over time, this creates a transactional dynamic. You may feel like your love is being monetized, with affection given only when you pay in effort, gifts, or attention. True connection is replaced by a constant need to prove your worth, leaving you drained and questioning your own value. The lesson is clear: love cannot be bought, and relationships built on material exchange are unsustainable. Genuine love is reciprocal and unconditional. Recognizing a materialistic pattern early allows you to safeguard your emotional well-being, ensuring that your devotion goes toward a partnership rooted in respect, shared values, and authentic care, not in constant measurement of what you can give. The self-centered woman often presents herself as confident, independent, and strong. At first, this appears attractive and empowering, but as you get closer, her confidence reveals a pattern of self-interest. Her needs, plans, and comfort consistently take precedence over yours, and the balance in the relationship shifts subtly but steadily. This type of woman often expects support, loyalty, and emotional availability, but struggles to reciprocate in kind. Compromise flows only in one direction. When you ask for consideration, attention, or empathy, she frames your request as selfish or unreasonable. Over time, your giving becomes invisible. Your kindness doesn't inspire her, it enables her. You begin walking on eggshells, apologizing unnecessarily, and justifying her indifference to maintain harmony. The psychological mechanism here is simple. She measures devotion through compliance. Your role is to support her world while shrinking your own. Emotional imbalance becomes the foundation of the relationship, quietly eroding your sense of self. The lesson is crucial. Love cannot thrive where one person constantly gives and the other only takes. True partnership requires mutual respect, effort, and emotional reciprocity. Recognizing the self-centered pattern early allows you to set boundaries, reclaim your time and energy, and avoid losing your identity in a relationship that only serves one side. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. Healthy love builds both partners up, while imbalance slowly diminishes both confidence and fulfillment. The insecure woman often begins a relationship with what seems like caring attention. She wants to know where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing. At first, it may feel flattering, proof that she values your presence, but over time, her need for reassurance becomes controlling, subtly shaping your behavior and narrowing your emotional freedom. Her insecurity doesn't manifest as walls to keep others out. It manifests as cages to keep you in. Every compliment you give to someone else, every pause in conversation, every harmless interaction becomes a potential threat in her eyes. You find yourself constantly defending actions you haven't taken, apologizing for feelings you don't have, and over-explaining simple choices to avoid conflict. The mechanism is clear. She uses your loyalty and attentiveness to soothe her fears. No amount of reassurance can fully satisfy her because the problem lies within her own anxiety, not your actions. The relationship slowly shifts from partnership to surveillance, and what begins as tenderness becomes tension. The key lesson: you cannot fix someone else's insecurity through compliance or proof of loyalty. Healthy love allows both partners freedom and trust. Insecurity that controls behavior is a red flag. Recognizing this early helps you set boundaries, protect your mental and emotional space, and maintain self-respect. Love should empower, not imprison. Understanding the insecure pattern ensures that your care does not become a tool for control and that your relationship remains a space for mutual trust rather than constant defense. The narcissist captivates at first with charisma, confidence, and charm. She seems magnetic, drawing you in with warmth and attention. But the admiration she inspires isn't directed toward you. It's directed back at herself, reflected through your eyes. You're not a partner in her world. You're an audience for her performance. Every compliment you give, every gesture of attention, every act of devotion feeds her sense of superiority. The moment your focus shifts or your admiration wanes, the dynamic changes. She alternates between praise and subtle criticism, creating a cycle of emotional highs and lows designed to keep you engaged, compliant, and eager for approval. This pattern fosters confusion, erodes self-confidence, and slowly reshapes your behavior to serve her ego rather than your mutual growth. Her vulnerability is leverage, not intimacy. When you attempt to express needs or boundaries, she reframes the conversation to center herself, making you feel guilty for existing outside her narrative. Over time, you stop recognizing yourself in the mirror as your identity becomes intertwined with maintaining her illusion of perfection. The critical lesson: love is meant to be shared, mutual, and empowering. Narcissistic relationships feed off devotion, not connection. Recognizing the mirror love pattern early protects your sense of self, enabling you to disengage before your confidence and well-being are compromised. Freedom comes from stepping back, refusing to participate in the performance, and reclaiming your own life. True love values both partners equally. Narcissism thrives when one exists solely to elevate the other.